Live from the Icebox Studio in Montgomeryville, Pennsylvania, it's the Bill and Corey Show.
I'm Bill.
And I'm Corey.
Welcome back. Another live edition of Bill and Corey Show. Today we got snacks. We got a bunch of different regulators. It should be good. And yes, this is peanut butter. Okay, the big question for the day, and the small question.
Wow.
What are the features that make a high purity regulator different than a medium or general purpose regulator? Mm-hmm. So we have a good, we got the pretty much the whole arrangement here.
The whole gamut.
So this is a general purpose regulator.
Mm-hmm.
This is
general purpose?
Yes. This is a medium purpose.
There's no mediums. There's no. Yeah. That's not.
Captain,
no. It should be a lieutenant.
Oh,
should be a lieutenant.
That's really down there. This is
private purpose.
This is analytical. Okay, medium purpose. Just because it's between general purpose and analytical grade. Analytical grade is kind of like your laboratory.
Yeah.
And this is the high end semiconductor grade.
The fancy stuff.
Regulator. So what's the deal? Look at them. They got they have 2 gauges. They got knobs.
Yeah, they all know.
These 3 have valves.
They all look similar.
What's really the difference going on here? So really the main difference is, and this is really kind of relates to purity, is the materials used in the body and the materials of the diaphragm, the finish, and
what's that clear coat you put on there? Did you get the one? Did they get the upgrade?
Yeah. So we're going to talk a little bit about our general purpose regulator first. We're going to go from
start low and go high.
Okay. Yes.
Start from
So
stage left to stage right, which would be your right and mine. Sorry, I have to think about that out loud.
Okay. So this is a general purpose regulator. We'll tell you what's in here. The body they kind of machined it up nice, but it is cast brass. So it's kind of like your lower end purity brass. And
we'll get into the cast, and then there's the bar stock, and we'll get into that a little bit later.
Into that stuff. So, okay, we're going to try to explain anything. So it's got, a rubber diaphragm, or rubber type diaphragm. Everybody calls it.
Or an elastomer.
Elastomer.
Elastomer is the fancy term, which just means rubbery.
That's a rubbery diaphragm. So that goes over to spring. Don't worry, this isn't a real. This is a demo.
We're going to package it up and send it to the next caller.
So that's that. So that's now. So what does that really mean?
Yeah.
So the cast brass has a lot of nooks and crannies in it as compared to like a bar stock brass, which is up here. So think of it as like an English muffin. You want to zero in on that?
Zero in on that. Now pretend this is you're looking through a microscope.
It's like microscopic level. Yeah, if you looked at it with your
naked eye, it all looks
glasses
smooth.
on, you don't want to see anything.
Yeah.
Microscopic level, it's looking like that. So let's take, as we know, peanut butter, and English muffins really like them toasted.
Yeah. Oh yeah, you can. Yeah, it's honestly.
Corey and I agree on that. Like an untoasted English muffin.
I can eat untoasted.
So let's say peanut butter's impurities coming through, moisture, oxygen, and you put it on there, and then you want to oh no, I want to get rid of it. Good luck.
Oh no, it's all trapped in there.
You got peanut butter. Now that's really good.
Yeah, try to clean that out.
Especially when it's melted, when they're hot right out of the oven. This is I toasted up last night. So.
Yeah, so it didn't keep its warmth that long.
So that's what that's like.
So that's cast.
That's cast. Now you look at the diaphragm; it's rubber. So the next step up would be stainless steel. So you'd think
flimsy rubber. Do you think that has more nooks and crannies than solid steel?
And leakage stuff. Like take a helium balloon.
Oh yes.
They have latex balloons, the regular balloons.
Yeah, the regular ones you buy, and then put a helium in them for your kids. What happens? Are the kids happy with that? No, because by the end of the party, it starts to sink.
Yeah, it starts to sink. So you go with this Mylar stuff.
Mylar. What's fancy about Mylar? Smaller crevices.
Yeah, smaller crevices, hard for the helium to go out.
But it's crazy to think that latex is leaky.
That's enough. Okay, so that's kind of you're going to have. You could have gases leak out, gases leak in. You got impurities in your gas, moisture, oxygen. They're going to hide in the nooks and crannies. So next step up. Oh, and it's got a valve. This is a needle valve.
Oh yeah, needle valve. Valves is important too.
So it has a packing in there.
Yes.
And packing can leak.
And packing is soft.
Soft. Yeah, it's inexpensive.
And
Needle valves work great. Great for a lot of turns. Great for controlling flow.
Control valve, yeah.
They're great, and they shut off great too. But they'll leak a little bit, and more spots for impurities to hide out too. Next step up. This is like our Model 81.
Yeah, Model 81.
You get up to our Model 1250.
And this is for, I mean, that's for like industrial. Yeah, we say industrial, general.
Yes. So the medium purity. So what's different? It's the same body.
I mean, it looks. I mean, if you're looking from the side, it almost looks the same.
That's because the body's the same, except. Oh, they changed the valve. Go with diaphragm valve.
Diaphragm valve better than needle.
Whatever reason, we went with the smaller gauges, but whatever. Now the diaphragm on here, they take out the rubber type diaphragm and they put in a stainless steel diaphragm. So it's a little. So you're not going to get that leakage out the diaphragm kind of deal.
Yeah. So in this one, the gas will never touch an elastomer.
Right.
It won't be. There's no wetted elastomers. In this one,
Correct.
there are wetted elastomers.
Yes. Yes. You get
Which is
the
a huge
impurities of the
deal,
little elastomers. You get whatever. Yeah, you get some fancy smancy the gas detector stuff.
Yeah.
GC or something like that, and you got little whatever rubber stuff coming out. So that's the medium purity there. So like I said, still cast.
But we got the wetted parts down, so it improves it there. The wetted parts are now.
So wetted parts are down.
A little bit better.
Then we get into this is our 3810A.
That's our flagship right there.
Yeah, that's very popular.
Yeah, it's a good one.
Very useful. Analytical grade, so you can use this for your hook it up to your GC, FID, all that kind of stuff.
And OBD and IME.
Just making stuff up.
I thought that's what you were doing.
Oh, no, I wasn't.
No, oh, okay.
DOG. No, okay, so this has bar stock brass. So that's a higher purity brass.
Yeah.
So that's kind of like, I like to use the example of
rye bread and peanut butter.
You can do rye bread toasted or not toasted. So
I'm just trying to think, rye bread and peanut butter, is that a good combo? I've never done it before.
Oh, yeah. But yeah, you put impurities, you want to zoom in? So you got some impurities on there, and you can get a lot of them off just by scraping it off there.
But there's still...
Any parents there with small kids know that sometimes you got to scrape
I got it all off. Yeah,
okay, you can zoom back out.
It's gone.
Yeah. But you get a lot of it out there.
You get a lot of it out, but...
Like this has I want to eat this, but English muffin has a lot of impurities in there, not so much in there.
So
that's for analytical grade. That's perfectly fine.
it's not fine. It's better than fine.
Want to say anything about difference between cast brack and
I guess
bar stock?
yeah. No, I mean so right now we'll get into this
here.
one, which is so cast versus bar stock, and I've always seen it, or even forged is another. Forged is another. But I was like, how do they even make the bar stock then if they can't forge it or cast it? Like, what do you do? I said, well, it all theoretically depends on like what was like the last operation you sort of did on. So bar stock is either drawn or forged into a long thing, and it's very uniform, and you machine it out. And so the tolerances are very low because you can control the machining process.
Yeah.
And so there's a lot less area inside the bonnet, essentially. Yeah. So there's less places for the gases to get trapped. And a cast one, or a forged one, though, you kind of like you heat it up and you forge it into the shape that it wants, and then the machines just make a much nicer, smoother surface than just forging or casting alone. The grain structure in a forge is a little bit stronger, but you can't get the uniform, smooth surfaces.
Right. Okay.
So anyways, I hope you followed that. Oh no, the words went away.
Yeah, we'll be fine. And this is our semiconductor grade. We used to call this is an old one. We used to call it Ultraline by Matheson.
And then
this is an
Mega
old
Ultraline, and then Super Duper Mega Ultraline.
No, we just have this.
No.
So this has we'll get into when you get the semiconductor grade. This is for the
Lots of
you're
things
making
change.
semiconductors.
Yeah,
A lot of things change. So they have, all these things have...
threads.
No, we're getting into the RA stuff.
Oh, I know about...
So they all have there's a way of measuring roughness. Mainly, you probably got scientists sitting around looking for something to do. But it's important. So there's a way to measure roughness. You can't say rough, kind of rough, and smooth. So they come up with numbers for that. And that's the RA, roughness average.
Or raw, after the Staffa Raw in Raiders of the Lost Ark, right? No?
Okay, no, this is real.
This is real, okay.
So,
All right.
so the RA finish. So here, and the RA finish is measured in micro inches. So that's a millionth of an inch.
So we combined the greatness of the metric system with the imperial for the
Yeah.
micro inch.
Yes. You can do microcentimeters, but I guess we were probably in charge of naming it.
Micro, did you say microcentimeter?
Micromillimeter.
They have one.
I know. Okay, so anyways, it's really small. It's really tight. So these would have, your semiconductor
Like micro machines. I've seen those commercials. They're the small cars.
like
Micro machines?
Okay. Anyways, these will have surface finish of like 10 RA average finish. Sometimes you get stuff that'll say 5 RA, but 10 RA. So it's really super smooth. So they come up with a food equivalent. You shop late at night and it's hard to find stuff. I found these, like these, the black and white cookies, but these are actually like...
Don't ignore the top part of the cookie.
Yeah, that's a little rough.
The white part is the, is the part.
Like frosting is going to be a little bit smoother. So you put some, you want to zoom in on that? So you got some impurities in there.
Oh man, but you want to clean it
and
out?
then you want to clean it off.
Oh man, look at that.
That is pretty darn clean, don't you think?
Because it has a nice smooth surface.
Nice smooth surface, so the
with a
peanut
really
butter's not
low
sticking to that.
raw number. Raw number.
Yes. So that's, oh, jeez.
One of the main things of this one.
I got the crumbs all over the place. Probably the mice will come. No.
And the other, obviously,
Okay, go ahead. Other things.
You'll notice the gauges are a little bit different.
They look kind of funny. Eh?
Yeah, so these are face seal fittings, and they're just a better type of fitting.
Yeah, well, it's...
Maybe you can explain, I mean, yeah.
Oh, here, you got pipe thread.
Yeah.
As you know, pipe thread has a lot of nooks and crannies in it.
Yeah.
So some people will take like, I don't want to get into that. They'll want to have like a 10 RA finish with pipe thread. It's like, you're wasting your time.
But if you seal the pipe thread, it'll be okay.
Oh, jeez. No. Yeah. So the VCR, it's a machine finish. I could get real technical, but I don't know all the technicalities on it. You want to zoom in on that? You can't see that. So that's like a VCR fitting.
No.
VCR. Face seal. Swagelok makes a VCR.
And we also do video cassette recorders because that's what we want people to.
So you have a metal gasket in there. Wow. Not like a Teflon one.
Not just metal, typically nickel.
Nickel, yes.
Nickel.
And it's machined, it's shiny.
So you take a 5-cent piece, you slap it in there.
You're taking out the no nooks and crannies.
Yeah, so the threads are gone.
Yeah, and these are all, and you got the connections are welded in there. This is like the tube stub welded in there. We get these from the manufacturer all welded in there and stuff. And you got these face seal fittings. You got the gauges have the same thing on there too, not threaded. They look kind of funny.
And because they're face seal and not threaded fittings, that's why these are always typically sold on a panel.
A panel? Yeah, you want to toss up the...
Oh, we have what we have, so there we go.
Ta-da!
Yeah. Ta-da!
That's our 9001 panel.
Yeah, VCR fittings or face seal fittings do not hold very well in tension.
Well, no, you got torque issues too.
Torque issues,
so if you put some people want to have the regulator and we can get a VCR fitting on the CGA fitting and just put it in there. Well, if you could have some torque issues where the face seal fitting comes loose.
Yeah.
And that's a bad idea.
Yeah, it's just a little bit different.
So here we suggest the panel. It's the regulator mounted on a panel, and you got a rigid pigtail.
Which also helps with purity as well. We don't want to do it the flex.
The flex. Well, there you're going right to the cylinder.
Yeah.
That's the idea.
Yeah.
But the other thing is on the outlet. Yeah, thanks for coming back to this.
Yeah.
On the outlet, you got a VCR fitting, which means you should be going to stainless steel tubing.
Yes.
And if you have it hooked up to a regulator, and now you're like bending the tubing, you're putting kinks in it, stuff like that. So it's really, the panel's the way to go. Yeah, it costs a little bit more, but you're buying this for the purity.
Yeah, yeah. You don't want to buy expensive gas and ruin it by cheaping out in the system.
Yeah, you're not going from this to a hose.
Yeah.
Hopefully not.
Hopefully.
So yeah.
Unless they just want to go, they want the white knob. You never know.
Yeah,
keep the aesthetics.
Well, that's part of the whole thing. Was we went white knob was the super high semiconductor grade, blue knob's analytical grade, and the black knob would be economy grade. Except this one's the medium, and we're like, just keep it black. We don't want to change.
You don't want to. There's just only so many colors we have.
So yeah, I think we pretty much covered all the differences between the 4 different purity levels of regulators. Of course, if you have any questions,
Comments, concerns,
give us a call, send us an email.
Yeah,
that's the way to go. Now next week I am on vacation. I'll be up in the Adirondacks. Got a canoe trip going on.
Woohoo! Party at Matheson while he's away. You guys can come.
So anyway, but Thursday I'll be driving back. So. And I won't be back early enough for this.
I tried to talk him into a Zoom car show, but it wasn't a good idea.
It's kind of complicated.
You know, that one Tonight Show host already played that one to death.
So anyways,
James Corden is his name.
Oh yeah. So
karaoke.
Next week will be a best of, and so tune in for that one. See what you're gonna get.
Every episode is a best of. There's
of course, but it's easy to do best ofs. And then tune in again in 2 weeks for another live edition of the Bill and Corey Show.
Set your VCRs.